All right. Okay, here we are. Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Angela Kiesenbing with Angela Grace Events, where we believe every day is a reason to celebrate. And I'm really excited because today I'm talking with Ritika from Challenge Island. And we are interviewing entrepreneurs during this season of our lives right now. If you're watching in the future, if you're watching today, we are all quarantined in our home. We cannot go out. We are practicing social distancing, which means we have to be at least 6 feet away. And really, we can't go out unless we need something essential like food, water, medical attention. So that's where we are. And so we're using this time to really talk about how businesses are taking their live events to the online sector or virtually, if you will, especially for those who are not really used to it. So I'm really excited to talk to Ritika and learn more, help you learn more about what she does, the challenges she's going through right now, and then the lessons that she's learning so that it might help and inspire you to figure out something new for your business. So thank you so much for being here, Ritika.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me and also for setting this platform for everybody to be able to be a little bit more connected and learn about different options.
Yeah,
Really
thank
appreciate
you.
that.
No, I appreciate it. And I just took, well, not me, but my daughter took one of your classes yesterday. I'm going to go ahead and let you kind of talk about your business, how you got started, and what is it all about? Let us know what Challenge Island
Okay.
is.
So Challenge Island, I'm actually a local franchise owner. It's a nationwide program, and we offer cross-curricular STEAM workshops, classes, family events, a lot of active participation kind of events, including uh, corporate team building and such. And this has been I've been doing this for a little under a year, but I was really excited about the concept and the ideologies that the corporate follows, and that's why it appealed to me, and I wanted to bring that back to San Diego. And I just I'm kind of just bummed that we're in the situation we are, because there was such a huge component of working together, working collaboratively. That was one of the big things I loved about our program, which is a little bit on hold right now till we get this quarantine over with. But yeah, we've been trying to adapt. Just in Challenge Island style, we say with the palm tree. Our palm tree is our logo, so we say with the palm tree. So we went with the winds, but we remain strong. So we're flexing, and we're trying to figure out how to continue to provide um, a maximum amount of enrichment and opportunities for our kids, for our community, for our parents through these challenging times.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you. Thank you for what you offer, first of all. And then you focus on STEAM, right? Can you explain a little bit about what that is? Because I know we were just talking, and you're saying that sometimes when you would come to the schools, they would just call you the science teacher, but it's more than that, right?
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for the question. So yeah, STEAM in general stands for science, technology, engineering, arts, in math, and very often it is confused with just being science or math. In fact, when I was looking for teachers, some teachers in fact approached me and said, "Well, I'm really not good at math, so can I teach this?" And I want to tell everybody that this is truly about a mindset, and we focus primarily on elementary age kids, where they're really learning these concepts without necessarily being very theoretical, and they're just experiencing it. And what we do is we bring in not just one of these concepts or one of these topics. We actually, our lessons are such that we kind of keep it a little bit more well-rounded. We always have what we call the real life connections, um, which ties it back to something real that the kids or participants can relate to. And um, especially if it's something, a new topic, they have something that they can connect it with and get a little bit better understanding or grounding of the topic. As an example, the one that we did yesterday with your daughter and a few other folks from San Diego as well, was about sports. It was about basketball. We did it. It was called the March Madness because we're in March right now.
Yeah.
And we were trying to teach them about elasticity, but also teach them energy transfer. We're trying to teach them all of those concepts, those seemingly heavy topics, but in a very playful manner. And just they were playing basketball and they were building these hoops and shooting hoops, and so they are learning without necessarily feeling like they've got this huge theory to kind of grasp.
Right. And I like that. It's all building on top of each other. And I'll say, my daughter just really enjoyed that class. She enjoyed the one last week. And she's very creative. And I want to say it's not just for creative kids, it's for everybody, because there's something for everybody. She was much more focused on the mascot, making the
I
mascot.
loved it. And she was so cute. I love her, the panda that I mean, really, that's what creativity is about. It's your
Yeah.
imagination. It's limited only by your imagination. So there is no
Yeah.
one right answer with respect to the arts part of our program.
Right, and I like that. And then she was like, "Oh, look, mommy, I made this launcher," and it was just like a cup with a balloon and some little, I think it was an earplug that she found. And it's just getting creative. And the way that you just just to kind of go back really quick and share and just brag a little bit about what you do, and it's really cool. I haven't been to a physical class, so this is my first experience with my kids having them do this online. And so what they did was send out a scavenger hunt or a list of items, and they encouraged us to tell our kids that it's a scavenger hunt. So I'm like, this is fun. Of course, I don't have to gather all the materials. I just say, here, go find all these, and they think it's fun. So,
Yes.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah. We like that aspect because first of all it's teaching them a few other skills, right? they're
yeah.
they're going to have to identify them for the younger ones,
Mhm.
and then there's a little bit of math because they know how much we give them quantities. Of course it's not too hard. Like if you don't have those materials, that's where the creativity comes in, because you can what would be another thing to use instead of that. Like for instance, some folks said they didn't have a balloon. Believe it or not, in one of our classes, kids actually brought these gloves that a lot of people are probably using these days to keep themselves safe, and they used the gloves instead of balloons, and that was just the kids doing it themselves. But we didn't put that out in our material list. But yeah, so the scavenger hunt, I think, is a lot of fun. Just that aspect gets them to build a little bit of excitement around the class as well.
Yeah, but yeah, I just love how like every element is fun. Like I didn't have a problem at all. And I'm really trying to get my kids to be independent while we're all homeschooling right now. Because
Oh
again,
yeah.
we're quarantined and everybody's at home, working from home, schooling from home. So it's really important that, they don't depend on mom and dad for every little thing, that we're teaching them and instilling that responsibility in them too. So I like how you guys incorporated that. So thank you. It's like the real life connections, they're learning, this theme. Remind me what those are again.
Science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, and
Yes,
they're all
awesome.
integrated. Yeah, they're all kind of correlated.
Right. And I love how they're all tied together, and they're really learning a lot of life social skills, collaborating, especially if they have their siblings or if they're in person. When they're in person, they're collaborating with each other. So, and then you said cross-curricular, which is um, pretty much like
Not
bringing
just
all of
one
those.
focus.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, yeah, not just one topic. We kind of bring
Right.
kind of meld them together so that it's not just a science class or a math class.
Yeah,
It's
and
more
I
than that.
like that because you said that it brings it all together and then it kind of ties everything. I mean, I think you guys were talking about Michael Jordan, and I was like, I know Michael Jordan. And the kids, and then the kids are kind of like learning about who these people are. They're learning about sports, but they're also learning about the functions of how to create different things and getting creative with their ideas. So I'm excited for you, and I know this is a challenging time, but like you said, Challenge Island. I like what did you say about the palm trees?
Yeah, we're like the palm trees. We bend with the when the winds get too strong, but then we remain strong.
I like that. I like that. And then really quickly, I know that this was, were you doing before this? Because this is something that kind of relates to what you were doing before, right? In a way, before you
You mean the
incorporate.
virtual classes or prior to the business?
prior to your business, because before you were working in corporate, is that right?
Yeah, I have been a career software engineer and management position in a software engineering medtech company. So I do have a science sort of background, and I was, I mean, in the software engineering field for the better part of my career.
Mhm.
And so it is different in lots of ways, but it also is bringing my um, education and my interests into it. What I wanted to do with why I moved into Challenge Island was because I felt that we were getting a lot of screen time and we were not getting hands-on interactive experiences and
Right.
exploration. So I wanted to bring that back for especially the younger learners. uh, I, I felt like that was kind of something we did when I was growing up, and we call them experiments, science experiments actually. But I wanted to bring that back so that the kids are not learning through just what they see on screens.
Right.
They can actually feel and get it. And
Right.
that's what I. And I mean, I'm not against screens. We're using a lot of them, and I'm so thankful for them today.
Yes.
And I have been for. I mean, as a software engineer, of course, I'm a believer in computing and
Technology.
everything around that. But to me, it's inevitable. It is going to come. It's just like language skills. If you're learning, I mean, you just go through it. It's something that you just pick up pretty quickly.
Right.
Uh, in the early ages, I'd just like to have a little bit more of a broader perspective, a little more hands-on, so that really they're building on their entire skill set, not
Yes.
necessarily just being focused on lessons.
Right. Yeah. And I will tell you, there are times where I get frustrated. I'm like, oh, get off the screen. Or I'll tell them, like, they'll show me something, and I'm like, why don't you just do that and make your own video? And one of the big things I keep telling my community right now, or just people in general, is like, creation over consumption, especially since we are here
Love
in
that.
our homes. And yeah, let's create something instead of just watching it on TV. If you are going to consume anything, make sure it's something valuable. It could be entertaining, of course, we need that. But at the same time, limit what you consume, because what you consume is going to consume you. um,
I love
so
that.
yeah. So now that brings me to the current situation, the big elephant in the room. The reason why we're quarantined is because of COVID-19, the virus, and we're just trying to figure out how to keep ourselves safe, but also sustain ourselves as a business, as families. How has this current situation really affected you personally and professionally?
So it has been hard for everyone, right? And personally, it is quite a lot of change. I'm so impressed by the homeschooling parents because I know I'm struggling. We're trying to figure out just a balance of time. And if I thought work-life balance was something I had to focus on prior to this, it's taken a whole new meaning now because there is really no end and there is no beginning. There are no routines, or at least not as we knew them. So there's a lot of mindset change that has been going on, and um, I'm letting it evolve, as you said earlier, giving myself a little grace, giving all of us in my family, my husband and my son, all of us a little bit grace about how we go about our day. Sometimes it's harder, and even more so because now I don't have this time where I could focus on my work.
Right.
And we're trying to learn something that's completely new, so it takes a lot more effort and time. And then we're trying to, because it's a franchise, we're also trying to work together with our franchise community, which has been really great. I mean, it's really helpful to have a tribe that kind of understands your pain points and
Right.
works are dealing with the same thing. So we have a lot of check-in calls and things that we're rolling out together and trying and piloting. So kind of already getting into the professional part, I've been using a lot of support and I think that is something that's critical, is to use the support systems that you have. Um, But it has been tough. It has, I mean, we obviously are a live program. One of the things I mentioned I loved about it was the social emotional connections we built by working together as tribes.
Oh yeah.
So I'm missing that. And then, of course, there's, a lot of people are not really either familiar with the virtual aspect of it, who were, or schools who were my target sort of client base. They're not operating anymore, so obviously they're not offering my services. So that's all come to a stall, and so it's a completely different, audience set that we're trying to now have to reach out to and figure out how to, get that our content available to them in a way that is meaningful to them. So it has been challenging, but it's also been a fun learning experience because every day there's at least one spark a day. Oh, I could probably be doing this, or could this work? And then taking a lot of feedback from folks like yourselves. What's been working with others?
Hmm.
What have you seen working? Or if you've attended one of the classes, what worked, what didn't work? How would we change it so that it's more appealing to parents we're trying to now work with?
Right. And I love that you said that you have a tribe. It's great to know that like a lot of these bigger companies are moving quickly in supporting, whether it's their staff or their franchises, in making sure that they're prepared to face these challenges and that they're not alone. So it sounds like Challenge Island is really um, supporting you, and then the community of Challenge Island is also just supporting each other and just trying to figure
Yeah,
things out and
very
making it
grateful
work.
for that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, and so you said you're learning a lot of things. I think that's very important. I was just listening to another podcast by Brene Brown. I don't know if you're familiar with her, but she was just talking about. She said, "What was it? FFT, first effing time." And she's like, she kind of goes through and she talks about how like you have to remember, okay, especially when you start getting really frustrated with this isn't working, and then you're just feeling like you're done. But I think it's really important for us to stop and remember that, be aware that, this is our first time doing something like this. This is the first time we're going through this pandemic. This is the first time, some of us have to go online and some of us aren't comfortable. And so there's always that feeling of fear and anxiety. But I think if we just kind of move past that, move through it, we just keep learning, keep surrounding ourselves with people, like each other, and connecting and talking about what's going on, and then getting ideas from each other, then it's okay. We're gonna get through it. We're gonna thrive, and that's why I'm so excited about having these conversations with you and the other entrepreneurs, because I I mean I think when we look at ourselves, we're like, "Ah, we're not doing enough. We're not getting enough out there. What can we do?" But when I see you, like, and some of the other people who are also struggling, um, including myself, I think when you're the outside looking in, you're like, wow, they're really doing what they need to do. They're really taking it up a notch to really make their business work in this time. So I see you.
Thank you
I
so
see
much.
all that you're doing. It's just, I think sometimes we need to be reminded and just have our cheerleaders, behind us, reading us out and saying, you can do this. Gonna be okay.
For sure. I mean, you've been immensely supportive, and there's a lot of good communities out there. So, for anybody watching, I would say find your tribe,
Yeah.
because more than ever now is the time when you need a tribe.
Yeah, exactly. So, is there anything specifically that you felt like you've had to adapt to? I know like the online stuff is pretty challenging, but from adapting to the in-person to going online environment, like, is there anything specific that you could point out that was like really challenging? I know.
It continues to be so. The entire strategy of approaching and marketing is very different. Up until now, my focus was working with schools and working with clubs and PTAs. So right now, none of that is really functioning in their normal mode of operations. It has been
Right.
a complete change and marketing to a completely new audience, which is really parents at this point, because they're the ones with the kids having to, keep them engaged and productive. So it is hard to find the right people and even know the right marketing strategy to appeal to them. The other aspect of is that there is so much on free online content, and I've been consuming, like you said, I've been consuming a lot of it too. So I mean, kudos for everybody who's doing it, but there is still that aspect of you local business got to sustain ourselves to be able to create that content. So got to be able to get compensated for some of this. So it
Right.
has that has been really quite challenging, just getting the word out there, especially for people who are not aware, because these programs were run through their schools, the community.
Right.
uh, so right now, just getting brand awareness for Challenge Island, and especially in the San Diego local market, has been it's a daunting task for sure. And I'm grateful for people like you to who are trying to put it out there and help. Your IG posts have really helped with this. At least there's a little bit of. I mean, of course, it shows support, but it also helps reach a little bit larger audience. That continues to be a challenge, and working through it. Um, we're also trying to figure out what else can we do. Like as an example, can we do these clips and send them out to maybe one of the things we're talking about, and maybe you have some ideas on this, is send it out to corporates who have employees. They want to do something nice for their employees, and maybe they want to sponsor it so that the parents don't have to pay for it, but the
Yeah.
corporates can sponsor it for their employees or their employees' families as a goodwill gesture, or even because they know their parents are the parents who are working from home are struggling,
Oh, yeah.
and they could use some of distraction
Relief.
and maybe family time.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah, trying to figure out those kind of what else might be something that the market is looking for right now, and trying to address those needs.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think we're reaching out to those corporate sponsors, or even building the corporate sponsorship package or something right now, especially for the people who can, for those bigger companies who can support, have bigger funds to do that, um, to really support their employees, or even just like anyone who needs
Exactly.
that support in general. Because I mean, my husband's working from home, and he really is working. He's still taking phone calls. He's um, got a regular 8-hour day, and it's not like they're just at home doing nothing.
Right.
They really are working. And so I mean, we're fortunate. For me, that I mean, I have, as an event strategist, I had to put a lot of things on hold. So I'm not really planning as much, but I'm doing more of this type of thing for my business, and for connecting with my community. But we're very fortunate that I'm not a full time, I guess.
Right.
I mean, I gotta pick my battles, right? I gotta choose my blessing, not choose my blessings, but let me take that back. But like,
Be
choose to
grateful.
see them as a blessing in disguise. I was just telling Amanda yesterday, who we interviewed, that I have to kind of look at it as like, I feel really blessed that I don't have 100 of employees that I have to let down or let go or whatever. um,
Yeah,
there's a lot of, we got to put things into perspective, I think.
for sure.
But yeah, if you could reach out to other businesses, or even some of the organizations that you were working with, that really, or people that align with what you do and who you are, then they, you never know, they might be willing to sponsor a few students or families, even for like the rest of the year, or for 6 months, whatever it may be. And it builds that community. You are getting paid, but you're also still servicing your community, and then you build awareness for that brand that's sponsoring. So um, I think a lot of questions that I was getting too was, are brands and businesses still willing to sponsor events and companies? even if it's not a live thing? And the answer is yes. You just got to get creative and figure out, what's going to be a win-win for everybody. So um, I think, and even like with working with influencers or ambassadors, if you will, like just, sharing a specific code or a discount code. And I know that you're kind of working this way as well right now, but like, and giving them that experience so they could share it with their community. So, I
Right.
mean, those are two big things. Our gym is doing that too. I mean, there's a lot of brands that are doing that because maybe we can't get paid right now, but we can exchange services. It's going back to
Right.
that bartering system. And I see a lot of posts that are coming out like, how can you support businesses during this time? It's like their page, share them. I mean,
Right.
yeah. So have you been finding that very helpful too, though, like with people just being supportive and sharing and liking and connecting?
Yeah, I have, like you said, choose to see those as blessings and so grateful for the sport. Um, yeah, and then, it may come in really small forms. I don't have any customers, but I posted this on my Facebook page yesterday. Some of the times when just seeing these kids smile and have fun on our classes, that in itself is so gratifying because you're making a difference in their day. You're letting them have a little bit of an outlet where they're doing something that's not related to schoolwork, and gives them a little bit of fun factor to it. So
Hmm.
that in itself is truly gratifying, and posting those kind of things and hoping that people will see the value.
Yeah,
uh, it's definitely something that I'm leaning on for myself.
right. And I like that. At least you're sharing what we got to put more positive things out there right now for us to hold on to. Um, and I mean, I don't know what's more positive and exciting or than kids smiling,
Yes,
having fun.
exactly.
Um, yeah. So that was the other thing. Oh my gosh, what was I gonna say? Um, but yeah, even just being a resource. I think you've been a great resource for a lot of people, and just sharing like,
Thank you.
what you can do at home with your kids. Um, and then so now that we're kind of looking into the future now. So after all of this is over, how do you see yourself and your business evolving after all of this? Like, what are some things that you feel like, I guess, one, what's the first thing you're going to do? And then how are you maybe going to either keep doing things online or like, how do you feel like it's going to evolve after all of this?
There's Well, first thing I'm going to do is go out for a really nice dinner because I'm so missing that. A sit down place. But on the work side, I think we're trying to, our pilot week has been very well attended across the nation. Of course, we're not doing local just yet because, again, we want to try to streamline our resources and standardize some of the stuff. But I think we're probably going to continue to offer um, some small, online programming. But our real true experience is with being in a contact program, and I think we're going to go back to. Um, I want to go back to focusing on that as much as well. But the other thing that what I think a good thing that will come out of this is that uh, there were areas where we're a franchise and we're in quite a few places, but we're not everywhere. And so what one good thing that comes out of it is we are able to now potentially do workshops or places where Challenge Island didn't have a local presence. So we're hoping that we will be able to actually get, like, for instance, we're bringing on virtual birthday parties right now, which
Oh,
is a because kids are stuck, and
that's a
uh,
great idea.
it was such a sad thing that like what we had one of my son's classmates birthday party that was canceled on the 21st, and every kid is so bummed when their birthday parties are canceled. So and all the kids are now getting so excited about Zoom connection because most of their teachers are at least connecting with them or however. So we figured, hey, this might be a way for them to feel like we might just be able to bring a little bit of fun back into their
Yeah.
birthdays. You saw yesterday, we actually imagined the entire country singing happy birthday to you. So there was
Yeah,
fantastic.
that's so cool. I was like, oh, I heard my daughter singing, and then I heard like the kids, and I'm like, that's so sweet. It's like I got goosebumps right now because it's like, you
That
know,
felt so good. We felt like, oh yeah, this is something special because the child who's stuck alone, probably feeling really low about not being able to go out to celebrate because they really don't get what this is all about, the magnanimity of it. So
right,
just
right.
a little spark to their day. I think it's so much fun. So we're looking at bringing in those birthday parties. We're doing Girl Scout events because Girl Scouts really, really, I mean, they're going to lose out a bit chunk of the year to on their badges uh, and we want to try to facilitate. We work a lot with Girl Scouts in our contact program for STEM badges. We're trying to bring them virtual workshops as well.
Yeah,
We will obviously go back to your question when we are back to normal.
right,
Uh,
right.
we will go back to contact programs, but then hopefully we'll be able to offer some of these if they're well accepted and if we see the feedback is positive, then we'll continue to offer some of these, uh, just for convenience factor or for bigger outreach.
Right. I always say like every day is a reason to celebrate or find a reason to celebrate. And I mean, when you said that, you you reminded me about how they sang happy birthday to this one kid. I can't remember where they were, but I mean, for people from all
Yes.
across the nation, all across the world, just singing happy birthday to you, on your special day, you're a kid. I mean, you can't get out. I mean, I was laughing about this, but there was a TikTok video where it was like saddest birthday ever, and then there was candles, and he had a mask on, and it's time to blow the candles. He pulled out a little fan and blew the candles out. I'm
Oh,
sure it was maybe a joke, but still, and it was funny at the time. But I'm like, well, how we missed two birthday parties. Two birthday parties had to be canceled in my son's class, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, how sad, And then now I'm thinking like we could probably do a virtual play date at some point. With our friends, and we will eventually, but I think there's so many things that we could still do. It's not going to be exactly the same, but it's the next best thing. So
exactly.
yeah,
And we do continue to keep those social connections. I think, I don't know if I saw it on your page or somebody, well, maybe it was Sandy's page where it says social distancing, but, don't give up on social connections.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Must have been Sandy, but that's true. I mean, connecting is just it's important. We're wired for connection, so
Right?
any way that we can connect, even if it's not. I mean, I FaceTimed my brother and sisters yesterday. It was the first time we all and they all answered the phone. There's four of us, and so it was nice. We were like snapping pictures and just seeing how everybody was doing. And my sister just had a baby, so it's been like we haven't seen her since she left the
Oh,
hospital. So it's like, but
they're
it's
all doing well.
yeah, yeah, they're all doing well. So
That's good. That's good. No, yeah, definitely a big believer of social connection. So even in these times,
oh,
just
especially.
find opportunities. And this is where I feel like our programs are tad different. And I'm not saying that the other programs don't offer value; they do. I'm consuming a lot of them too. But what I love about what we're doing is it's a live class. It's not something that's like a recording that's been shown or something where people are not able to interact and participate. And there is that instant sort of feedback from others. Oh, wait, you made that? That's so cool. Like I know that your daughter and Janae's daughter kind of exchanged some messages yesterday. So
Yeah,
just feeling like this person and I can see what they're doing is, I think it's so much fun. It's just
yeah.
like you don't feel so separated anymore. So hopefully
Right,
that
right.
is that's the one that appeals to me the most about our
Yeah.
virtual life experiences.
And I did see, I have to say, like the whole screen when we changed the view, like you could see like rows and rows of kids just working. So you guys had a really good turnout, at least yesterday, and I'm sure like the other days too. But it's really interesting. I mean, even for me, like I did a live video on Facebook. Was it yesterday? I can't even remember. And it was just so well received. So many people in attendance, and a lot of it is because we are in this position. So I mean, people are going to find what they want to hear and what they want to consume. And as long as we're being supportive and adding value and sharing our resources, I think people are going to listen. And when all of this is done, they're gonna come back. They're gonna come back and look
Yep.
for you. So, ah,
We're
man,
building at least goodwill, if not
yes,
anything else.
yes. And one of the things
And that's
that I
important. I
what was
think
that?
good, and that's important. Building
Oh
that
yeah,
goodwill is so important for individuals as well as businesses.
right, right. The goodwill, without expecting anything too, I think is very important. I think I shared this in another place, but it's just that, that self perseverance, like we're not focusing on ourselves, but we're focusing on serving others. And I think that's really important. And I think that you guys are doing that really well, and I appreciate it. Is there anything else that you would like to share about, what's happening with you and Challenge Island?
Nothing at this point. If you're watching it, within a reasonably close time frame in March of 2020, we're adding more classes. We have a lot of classes that we're offering. So if you want to check it out, you can. We have I have it on my Facebook page, or you can check out my website. It's a really long website, so probably going to my web, or I don't know if you can post that
Well,
link.
yeah, go ahead and tell us what it is, and then send me the links for what the new classes are, and then I'll post it in the description too, because I think that's important for people to know where to find it. So,
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
yeah,
It's www.challengeinland.com/San Diego Coastal.
okay,
Um, and if you go into register now button over there, you'll see the list of classes, and we keep adding more. But then we're also setting up, like I said, private events such as birthday parties, Girl Scout workshops. So if anybody wants to reach out and set any of those, let me know. And finally, honestly, if any of your viewers want to sponsor other kids, as we talked
yeah,
about, reach out. I'd love to be able to, have that resource be available through our programs to kids who are not able to necessarily. Either we've kept it very, very reasonable, and it's per family pricing right now. But
okay,
for whatever reason, if that's still not something that they're able to, it'd be really great if people are, willing to sponsor other families or kids.
right,
And finally, if you feel, and I posted this on our Facebook page as well, if you feel like um, someone really is deserving and should be, you nominate them. I would love to look into seeing if we can get them a complimentary class, just because I mean this is a time to our healthcare workers or our community heroes
yeah.
our appreciation. So if you feel like it'd be great for them to attend or their kids to attend that event, reach out to me, and we'll see what we can work out with them.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And right now classes are $10 a class, right? Okay. Are you guys planning on bundling them up at all, or is it just like a subscription or is it
Right now, since we've been taking it slow and trying to learn through the process, it's been one class at a time. But
okay,
yes, as we're working through our complete curriculum, because not every class that we can offer lends itself for a virtual environment, so we're putting that together, and
right.
then yes, then we'll start to do bundles. Honestly, we didn't expect it to last so long. All of us were hoping this was going to be a few weeks and we'll be
Yeah.
good. But now that it looks like it's longer, we're now focusing our attention on figuring out what is the level of cadence and what are the and probably looking at multiple class discounts and such like
Yeah.
that.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's great. And then do you guys have like a sponsorship package or a link or something that we can send people who want to sponsor that to or
No, not yet. I'm
okay.
starting to think through that. Actually, got like I said, I got that idea from you, and I'm starting to put that together. So still need to
Yeah,
finalize that. But in the interim, send me an email before it goes to a link. If you have anybody who's interested, send me an email, and I'll, we would love to work with that because we'd love
yeah.
to be able to get this program out to as many kids as possible.
That's awesome that you have that flexibility to do that too, because I know as different franchises, I don't know like how that works. Um, but just having the flexibility to be able to keep running your business how you need to is awesome. So thank you so much again. So and then we can find you on Facebook and Instagram, and it's Challenge Island San Diego Coastal.
So Facebook is Challenge Island, San Diego Coastal. IG is ST Coastal, Challenge Island ST Coastal.
Okay, awesome. And then I will post all of that information below. Thank you guys again so much for being here and for listening to the end. Thank you, Ritika, for just sharing the challenges, what's working, what's not, and just being very vulnerable about this time. I appreciate you and all that you're doing for the community. If you guys would love to be interviewed, please let me know. Just send me a message and we'll get things set up. I think during this time it's just really important, like we talked about, just to be connected and stay connected and support each other in any way that we can. So I'm Angela Kiesenbing with Angela Grace Events. I've been sharing a lot of things about how to go virtual and how to deal with events during crisis. So just make sure you visit my blog at angelagraceevents.com/blog. I'll put that in the link below. If you're on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. My goal is to get 100 by the end of March, which is not very, yeah, I think there's only like 2 or 3 days left. So anyways, but I think any support would be great. Make sure you follow Ritika, Challenge Island, San Diego Coastal, and you know what, let's do this. We're all in this together, right? And remember
We're
to
all in
make
this
every day
together.
a reason to celebrate. um, Much love to you guys. Take care.
Thank you, Angela.
Thank you.